probably figure out what this mic is called. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the Fifein K670, and I'm going to be giving you some examples of how it sounds in comparison to other cheap mics like the Blue Snowball. And I'm also going to show you how you can plug a mic like this up to your camera so you can actually record straight into camera and not have to go through your computer and then sync audio or something like that. So yeah, stay tuned. This is going to be a review of the Fifein K670. Oh yeah, I should say a disclaimer. This mic was sent to me by Fifein, but as always, I'm not required to say anything nice about it, and this is going to be a honest and unbiased review. So this mic is about 48 bucks on Amazon, which is a really attractive price point. The Blue Snowball, which I have here, is around $49. So I'm sure the prices vary a lot, but these are both really inexpensive microphones. The cool thing about the Fifein is that there's actually a volume adjustment here and a headphone out or a line out, which is actually pretty important because I kind of wanted to try to use a mic like this as my YouTube microphone. Right now I'm using the Sennheiser MKE400, which is a shotgun style microphone that's designed to be used with cameras. This is designed to be used on your computer. So it's powered via USB. It's more designed to record voiceovers or music or something like that. So let's actually get that part out of the way. I'm gonna show you a comparison between the Fifein K670 and the Blue Snowball, used the way that they're intended to be used, which is on your computer. All right, so here we are on the Fifein K670, and I am recording into Audacity. And one of the cool things about this mic is that it actually has a gain adjustment on the actual mic itself. So I can adjust the gain here instead of doing it on Audacity. With the Blue Snowball, I'm not able to do that. So yeah, this is how it sounds recording directly into the computer. Indie Mogul actually did a video pretty recently about a bunch of different condenser mics with this mic included in the mix. And the copy that Griffin got had a really weird interference sound in the background. So what I'm actually going to do is just stop talking right now, and we can see if we can hear any of that same kind of weird interference noise in the copy that I got. Now, I've done this test before and I've listened back and I haven't been able to hear any weird interference noise. I've heard my fans in the background and just basic room tone, but I haven't been able to, pick up any weird interference staticky type noise. So it could just be a quality control issue, but the mic that I received, the audio sounds great and I haven't found anything weird as far as background noise or hiss or anything like that. So now let's switch to the Blue Snowball so you can get a little bit of an idea of what this sounds like in comparison to the Fifein K670. All right, so here I am on the Blue Snowball, and this mic I've had for a pretty long time. I use it for, voiceovers and stuff like that. But since I've already gone back and listened to both the Fifein and the Blue Snowball, I can honestly say that I think I like the sound coming out of the Fifein more than I do from the Blue Snowball. I definitely like the Blue Snowball, and it's great for, the price that it is, but if I was given a choice just from the sound quality, I would probably go with the Fifein over the Blue Snowball. And like I've mentioned before, a cool thing about the Fifein is that you have that headphone jack and an audio gain knob on the front, which is pretty nice to have. But this Blue Snowball is just kind of like a plug and play, super easy mic to use. So let's talk about how you can use a mic like this, which isn't necessarily intended to be used with a camera. Most of the mics that are similar to this that you see YouTubers, having in frame have an XLR output that you can, hook up to a XLR preamp and then run straight into your camera. This is not like that. This one is USB powered and it just has this headphone jack as an output. So first we need to figure out a way that we can mount this, and it has a microphone thread here. So I could use just a regular microphone arm, but just to keep my whole setup a little bit more compact and not have to bring in another mic stand, I'm gonna hook this up to my Magic arm that I have my MKE400 mic on. The way that I'm gonna have to do that is Fifein actually comes with this little threaded adapter which turns the very large thread into a 3/8 thread. So I'm gonna put that in there right now. So now it has a 3/8 thread, and in order to make it into a 1/4-20, I'm gonna need a 1/4-20 to 3/8 inch adapter. And boom, now you basically are able to mount this on anything that you could mount any other accessory that has a 1/4-20 tap. So now it's ready to be mounted on my Magic arm. But one other thing that we're gonna have to do is figure out how to run this headphone out into my camera. Now, what most people will probably do is just get a typical 3.5mm extension cable and just run it straight into your camera. Now, even though that works, I guess, the problem with that is that this is a line out or like a headphone out signal that's coming out of this mic, and that's not the kind of signal that you want to be putting into your camera. You want a mic level signal, because most of the time the headphone out is going to be way too hot or way too loud. And one thing that works really well for running a headphone out into a mic jack is an attenuation cable. Now, I had one of these from back in my T2i Zoom H1 days, and this turned my Zoom H1's headphone out into a mic level signal so that I could plug it into my camera and it wouldn't be such a hot signal coming in to the mic jack. These cables can actually still be bought on Amazon. Movo actually makes a cheaper version of this. I think this one's like 28 bucks. The Movo one is 20. So if you want to do a setup like this, I'll have links in the description, but now it's going to be basically outputting a mic level signal that you can run straight into your camera. But another problem that you're going to have is powering this guy. And one thing that I figured out is that you can't just plug the USB into like a USB wall outlet or something like that. It has to be plugged into a computer, otherwise it's not going to feed a signal out of the headphone jack. So you're still going to have to plug it into your computer, and one way that I found to do that without being super close to my computer is just using this USB extension cable. So I plug this into my computer, and then I plug the USB cable that came with the Fifein mic into that extension cable, and it gives me a little bit more reach out of this USB cable. So it's kind of crazy to be doing all of this, but if you want this cheap condenser mic running straight into your camera without having to do like dual system sound, this is how you're gonna have to do it. All right, so now we have power coming into this mic. We have a 1/4 inch tap on the bottom so we can hook it up to a magic arm, and we have a cable that turns the line level into a mic level. Now all we have to do is attach it to the magic arm and run it into my camera. Now this tiny little cord won't actually reach all the way to my GH3 from the magic arm, so I'm going to use this Rode VC1, I believe, VC10 mic extension cable to run the attenuation cable into my GH3. So I'm going to set this all up, then we'll be able to record straight into camera with this Fifein mic. So here we are on the Fifein mic, and this is just running straight into my Panasonic GH3, which is really cool. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be able to make this work. One of the things that you do have to consider is that your computer actually has to be on, like it can't be sleeping or anything like that for you to be able to use this mic. You can see in the background that I just have a screensaver going so that I'll be able to use this mic without the, audio cutting out because, my computer goes to sleep when I'm not using it for a while. So yeah, this is just running straight into my GH3, and I can control the audio level right here and get a really good signal to noise ratio in my GH3. But yeah, this is something that I wasn't 100% sure if I'd be able to do with this Fifein mic, just because it is not really meant for this. It's kind of more meant to be used like at your computer, but as you can see, with just a couple of pieces of kit, you can make it work. As far as cons, I'd really be nitpicking, especially for a mic of this price point. I think for 48 bucks, it's actually really good. There are some things like I wish that it would just work if it was plugged into a wall outlet or something like that. It is kind of a pain that I have to have it plugged into my computer with my computer on, like not even asleep or anything like that, in order for it to work. But again, I realize that it's not really meant to be used like this. But as far as like build quality and audio quality, I'm actually really impressed. I don't have extensive experience with higher end condenser mics similar to this, but honestly, for the stuff that I do, this is more than sufficient when it comes to audio quality. So anyways, that was my review of the Fifein K670. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. Thank you so much to Fifein for sending this out to me. And I'm gonna have links to all of the pieces that you're gonna need to use the mic in a setup like this. I'll also have links to a bunch of other gear that I currently use and recommend. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. You can click over here if you wanna check out some of my other videos. But until next time, I will see you all later. Bye.